Animal crackers, bears and tigers haunt me all day. And whenever I am at a swell cafe, say all I order is animal crackers, firecrackers won't do. Goodness gracious, I'm no chump, I just bit off the camel's hump. Animal crackers, I love you. I went to the animal fair, the birds and the beasts were there. The old baboon by the light of the moon was combing his auburn hair. And the monkey, he got drunk and sat on the elephant's trunk. The elephant sneezed and fell on his knees, and that was the end of the monk. Animal crackers, I can't live without animal crackers, bears and tigers haunt me all day. And whenever I am at a swell cafe, say all I order is animal crackers, firecrackers won't do. Goodness gracious, I'm no chump, I just bit off the camel's hump. Animal crackers, I love you. I went to the animal fair, the birds and the beasts were there. The old baboon by the light of the moon was combing his auburn hair. And the monkey, he got drunk and sat on the elephant's trunk. The elephant sneezed and fell on his knees, and that was the end of the monk.
Lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop. Doom, doom, doom. That's the sound you hear when a flat earther pulls his head out of his ass. When a couple from California who should be buried under the jail simply get a life sentence. And
Oh boy.
when the murderer of a professional wrestler 30 years ago is advertising himself for kids' parties in Puerto Rico and making money doing it. It's our monthly excursion into the worst and most unbelievable news stories you'll hear ever in the history of ever. This is Do You Know What's Fucked Up? This is the Loki and Jabroni Show. Sit down, plug in, man up. You might want to get yourself a beer because we're digging deep into the fuck up in this tonight. And welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Loki and Jabroni Show, the brainchild this week of executive producer Eddie Focus. We started this back in 2015, and it is one of our most popular shows that we ever do. It's Do You Know What's Fucked Up week. My name is Chris Burns. I am the Jabroni. Filling in for Loki now for the next 7 weeks is
Woo woo. Chris Lynch,
also known as
Strikers Biscuit,
and the Chicken Man Extraordinaire of Montville, Connecticut. The mastermind of this whole episode, the man in the box, the man of the hour, the tower of power, too sweet to be sour, knows the earth is a globe. Don't fuck around with me because I'm not in the mood today, and I'll tell you why in a minute. His name,
Eddie Focus.
See, that's his line.
I know, but I'm
You're
trying
just
to help
stepping
him
on.
out.
You're gonna step on all this shit. It's all good.
Oh, fuck you.
You start calling you Bobby Brown.
I didn't fuck up the cold open this week.
No,
I'm
you
not
didn't.
touching anything. I didn't
Hide the
fuck-
meth. Here comes Bobby Brown. So how are we doing this week, gentlemen?
We're doing good.
Everything's good,
Doing good.
especially on your end. Again, good
My
week for
first
you.
full day at my new job. Didn't want to kill
Fantastic.
anybody. Actually, like I told you earlier, didn't want to kill anybody working
Mhm.
retail.
Yep, he's a male whore now. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
It
back on
wa-
the streets.
So much fun. I work-
Welcome to the game, buddy.
Yeah, I work with really good people, and I can't complain. Things are good.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Nice.
I got to make an apology. Louis Sergio, who I believe is over in the United Kingdom, he's saying you're seriously messing with my sleep pattern, you big jabroni. Well, that's what we do. Hey, but you know what, Louis? The beautiful thing about the whole YouTube gimmick and our audio only platforms, iTunes, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, we're there when you want us, man. So if you can't stay with us tonight, no big deal. You pick us up whenever, wherever, however. We'll read down the list. We got a lot of people. Bristol Turtle Chick, who I believe is Turtle Boy Sports. Thank you. Phil Blacka, thank you. The Red Shill, thank you. I'm waiting for more people to join in, but man, this is a good crowd tonight.
Yeah, awesome.
So
awesome.
your new job. Sorry to step on your gig here, but fantastic. I know it's been a long time. We talked about it last week. It's been a long road.
It has. Yeah, and you know, it's not where Wari ultimately wanted to be, but
Mhm.
you know what? I love it.
Good.
Had a great first day. My bosses are great.
Mhm.
I deal with the customers as they come. It's not a bad gig,
Awesome.
and I'm happy to be back doing something every day.
It-
Gives me purpose, gives me reason to get out of that fucking house and do something
You know, I
every day.
had thought about, and this was a couple months ago. I had thought, like, I came this close to telling my boss, I've got a guy, he can come in, and then I thought to myself, it's bad enough I go through this. Why would I want to put one of my best friends on earth and the godfather of my daughter in this situation? That's all I'm gonna say. Because look, I dig the people I work with. I dig what I do.
And on that
I
topic,
dig most people.
what did you spill on herself that she had to get new clothes?
I cannot tell you. Wendy's chili.
Pardon?
Wendy's chili, and that's where I'm gonna leave
Oh
it.
my god.
Wendy's chili. That's where I'm gonna leave it.
Ugh.
Wendy's fucking chili. Yeah.
And whose fault is that?
the fantastic Department of Transportation in Massachusetts, because you've taken this ride with me.
I have.
You go past 28A
Yep.
just before the
Couple
Vermont border,
times.
and you're in that left lane. Eddie's made the trip with me twice before maybe, and there used to be a little pothole, but maybe the size of a beer can.
And now it's this big.
Oh yeah, you know what I saw when I hit that thing, Wendy's Chili, and I watched a hubcap
I saw Wendy's Chili over my daughter's fucking
in
lap.
my rear view. I watched a hubcap sail over 3 cars, and it wasn't until I pulled in to drop Emma off that I noticed. I'm like, what the fuck happened here? There's no fucking hub. And I thought back. I'm like, that's what the flying thing. I almost thought it was a UFO.
It needs to be addressed.
Sure.
Who the fuck eats Wendy's chili in a moving car?
Emma Marie Burns. No.
His daughter.
Tell
Yeah.
her we're through.
Okay, we'll do. She's ready to tell you the same thing.
You're fired.
You fired. Right, anything on your mind?
Yes.
What?
Tell me.
I started listening to a new book by Scott Adams
Mm-hmm.
called How to Fail and Still Be a Success.
Really?
Yes, it's really good. I just started listening to it today. Pretty happy with it. If you know who Scott Adams is, he's the artist who does Dilbert.
Yep.
And he's written a couple books. Another one he wrote is called Winning Bigly.
No shit.
Nice.
Well, if that's not going to sell 1 million copies, I
Oh,
don't
it
know
did.
what will. Or already?
It was all about persuasion. Yeah, he wrote it. He
Nice.
wrote it during the election, and it's all about persuasion because he's I don't know
Nice.
if a lot of people know that Scott Adams is like a trained hypnotist.
Mm-hmm. Wow,
So,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Real quick, Kate, I'm getting you in just a second. I asked people in all my groups to chime in, and Kate's here with us, and that's my top story on Do You Know It's Fucked Up, because it's funny. Eddie and I love it. You are going to get into it because you've heard me talk a bunch of junk on a particular homeless bum who is an idiot, and we're going to have some fun. And I think I haven't shared the story on my personal page, but I will, so you guys can all have the fun, and I'll share it on Logan Jabroni Show Facebook page too.
Awesome.
It's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did y'all have a good Easter?
I
Yeah.
did.
I was in the Cape,
Yeah, I know. I saw some of those
Eat a lot.
pictures, and
Eat a lot.
and I have evidence of flat Earth.
fuck
Oh,
you.
come on, Eddie.
Oh,
Really? Come on.
I've been convinced now.
You're convinced as shit.
I looked off the coast of Provincetown and I saw no curve.
Exactly. Not a single curve was seen.
Sorry, Kate's not here. Bristol's here. It's her evil twin sister. Thank you.
Okay. Whatever.
I don't want.
I'm here, you
Whatever.
glowheads.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Easter was fun for us too. Church was great, and then we had the Easter family get together at the Azarju Mini Mansion, which Eddie, you know, when Mark throws a party,
He throws
it
a
is,
party.
It
Oh, yeah.
is top of the line Jones. It wasn't too bad. Not having NASCAR this weekend, but I sat and watched an entire Red Sox game, which is very much against my religion, but still a good time. We ate, we had a good. We didn't drink too much because it's Easter, but all the kids had fun
You ready to make the switch yet?
too.
Red Sox.
Absolutely not. Never in the history of ever. If I lose my
No.
left arm, maybe,
No.
maybe,
So
and that's a capital
what
maybe.
it takes.
maybe, because that's where the Yankees tattoo is, right there, Jay. But do we move on? Do we start getting into the fucked up in this?
Yeah.
To lead?
No.
Okay.
Of course.
All right.
What the fuck?
Well then, that's probably my favorite thing is that graphic for Do You Know It's Fucked Up. In fact, you know what? Play it again because I love it so much. Let's just have it again.
What the fuck?
See?
There we go.
And whose picture is on it? Ted motherfucking Nugent.
Cross-eyed.
Cross-eyed Ted Nugent.
I put a lot of work into that.
Oh man! So in the last couple weeks, you guys have heard me rant. Back in November, we had a particular idiot on our show who basically used it as his own promotional tool. He didn't follow the rules. We had a format laid out and said, "Come in. You got 20 minutes here. Then we got 20 minutes. Then you answer these listener questions." We had 60 listener questions. Some of the smartest questions I've ever seen on the subject too. And he basically, after his 30 minutes, because he went over, he said, "Well, let's start asking you questions." Nah, man, I take my to dinner. Bye, click. Fuck him. So that's the flat tard. That's Nathan Thompson, otherwise referred to as Cunt and Bitchson. And
I call him Jesus.
You know what? I've had enough. No,
Come on,
not
Eddie.
the day to do it.
Come on, Eddie.
We're not stupid. I'd like to think you're not stupid. Please. Please. So, I'm getting comments of the Nuge. People love the Nuge, man. And I hope and pray that you have a Nugent Award for today. Because we haven't had a Nugent Award in a long fucking... You know what? AOC could win all the Nugent Awards from here until the end of her term.
Too easy.
That's the beauty of it.
No, I like to put. Yeah, I like to
Okay.
put thought in it.
Let me go back. So in the last 3 weeks or so, our flat-tardian friend Nathan has put up videos crying the blues because his woman left. Why did his woman leave? Because they had a little disagreement, and she likes to drink blood. Guys, I'm not fucking around. There's enough people that can be... Yes!
What?
I told you I was coming swinging the bat strong
Whoa,
tonight. I'm
come on
Aaron
now.
Judge.
All right.
I am Aaron
All right.
Judge
Come
like a
on now.
motherfucker tonight.
Oh,
Go ahead,
my God.
say something.
No, what?
The frat boy drunken messiah, yes, Nathan Thompson himself. He put up a video a couple weeks ago, and the start of it was beautiful. He comes out, he says, "I've been listening to this song by No Doubt," and he sings the first couple lines to "Don't Speak," like full on crying Jones, like "You and me, we used to be together," and I'm pissing myself laughing watching this. Now, as he
Wow.
goes along in this video, explaining that him and his girlfriend Ashlyn broke up. Okay, big deal. You're a 30-plus-year-old man. You're making this YouTube video for the world to see, crying the blues like a fucking 13-year-old who lost his first girlfriend, who broke up with him in public at the dance. No big deal, right? Now we move on. So he reveals in this that, first of all, she considers Facebook her ministry. Like, she ministers to people through Facebook.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
exactly. This is
Oh
what we're
my
dealing
God.
with these fucking flat earth idiots. And that's the fucked up part. And I don't even need to ask, but you know what? For the sake of what we do here, do you know what's fucked up?
What's fucked up?
What is fucked up?
He basically said, you know, I had to leave, or she had to leave, or we had to leave each other because she is drinking blood and says the Bible says she should drink blood to purify herself.
What the fuck?
Exactly.
Come on, man.
I'm a Christian.
Really?
I go to church. I've read the Bible. I dig the story. Some of the things in there, little strange, a little crazy, but I still believe. I got my
Little
cross on
weird.
right now.
Good.
But nowhere in the Bible have I ever taken, you know, hey, drink blood. It'll clarify your soul. What it does say is he's giving wine and bread to the people at the dinner. This is my blood, drink of it, and this is my body, eat of it, and all that schnibbits. But this girl actually thought drinking blood was okay.
Wow.
So
Wow.
me, being me, made a couple videos, sent them out to some wonderful people in the anti-flat earth brigade, calling Mr. Cunthin out, saying, bring your ass to Connecticut. We'll bring a camera. We'll bring a recording rig. I want you to sit down and answer questions. No deflection, no bullshit, no nothing.
Right.
So, continuing further, a couple days ago, if you're from New England like we are, you're familiar with Turtle Boy Sports, and they put up a great article about the homeless bum, the charlatan that he is. Fantastic article. I will share it with you guys when the episode is over on the Logan Jabroni Show Facebook page. We'll pay bills at the end of the show. I can't tell you all the great things, but maybe I will after this story, because there are a bunch of new people on the feed, and they need to know where they can go buy T-shirts of the Logan Jabroni Show and shop Amazon and all that bullshit. But the expose was great. I read this thing. I'm at work. I'm on my lunch. I'm reading. I'm pissing myself laughing. I'm like, what we started here on the Logan Jabroni Show back in November is now got this ball rolling. And between like Turtle Boy Sports, the Red Shill, the groups on Facebook that basically think that Nathan Thompson is on a par intellectually with like a sponge and a pea pod. You know, these are the kind of people I want to be around. Like you guys, we all know we're not stupid. There's years and years of science, and this guy says, well, show me a curve. Motherfucker, how many more pictures do you need from a plane, from space, from this and that? Oh, no, fisheye lens and CGI and all this bullshit. And he's got like hundreds of thousands of other morons that follow him and just blindly, with their finger in their nose half the time or their finger lodged in their sister, say, oh, yeah, I believe you, Nathan. Let me send you some money. You know what else is fucked up? This guy gets $90-something a month on Patreon. He's not real popular that way. But he makes these flyers, like at Kinko's or something. It's a one-page, threefold, so it's basically like 6 columns of all these Earth is flat gimmick bullshit. People pay him for this shit. If you want 300 flyers, send me $100. First of all, no flyer is worth $3 a head.
Oh, God, no.
And cripes, I just don't get it. I don't understand what kind of mentality you have to have. And what else is fucked up? And I wanted to wait till tonight because she's gone and she can't fight me on it. I picked up my daughter a week and change ago. We're driving back and she's thumbing through my phone and she likes to look at where the podcast has been. And she got back in November and she goes, "What's the Great Flat Earth Debate?" I'm like, "Oh, we had some idiot on there who thinks the Earth is flat, and we basically, had to listen to him spew his crap for 30 minutes, and then he bailed." She goes, "Well, I'm kind of wondering if the Earth is flat." Pulled the car over. I'm like, "No, you don't."
What are you thinking?
And then I
Come
thought
on
to
now.
myself, I said, "You know what? Let's be the cool parent." I said, "Why do you think so?" She goes, "Well, I saw Logan Paul." I'm like, "Okay, here, watch my phone. Here's the retraction where he said the whole thing was a spoof. It's all fake. It's like wrestling." And I love wrestling, but I know it's bullshit. I also love, what's the fucking name of that show that she watches now? Game of Thrones. None of that shit is real.
Never seen that.
We understand. I understand that I watched 4 episodes because she's now binging it.
I had hope for them, and they're letting me down by watching it.
I had.
If
have
I wanna-
never
if I wanna
watched
go to bed at a
one
decent
fucking
time,
episode of Game of
and
Thrones.
if she's in the room watching her Game of Thrones, and I want to go to bed at a decent time, I kind of have to sit through 3/4 of an episode.
I can't do it.
There's a lot of nudity and boning.
Yes,
There
there's
is,
a
but
whole lot of crazy
I
shit in
tried-
that.
Eddie, I've tried for at least half a dozen times. I can't do it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I can't sit through a fucking episode. I fall asleep. Done.
I'll try
It's
it one
so
day
fucking boring.
when I run out of other things to watch.
I got to ask a question to one of our peanut gallery here. Phil, if you're still with us, you calling me a geezer, bro? You calling Lynch a geezer? Because the only geezer here
I
is
am a
Eddie.
geezer.
Well, you are a geezer.
The Jews.
Oh, God, the whole
They're
Zion.
the-
well, they peddle their way around
yeah,
it.
it's like the Jews have convinced everybody that the world is flat. It's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Gotcha.
Like, I got out of there like quickly. I didn't
Yeah.
want to be associated with that shit.
And I understand.
And I wanted to get into that with him too, but he kind of like,
He bailed.
yeah.
Because that was on our list of questions that we were going to pose before he took the listener questions.
Yeah.
And he was just gone. Like, gone with the wind.
Yep.
Fucking bye. See you later.
Yep. Thank you, fuck you, bye.
He basically gave us the thank you, fuck you, bye.
Yeah.
And in one of these
Really
videos,
fast.
in one of these videos recently, I said I mentioned that you went over your time and then you bailed, so I got to take my girl to dinner. And the comment I had was, I didn't know the blood bank was open that late.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
She's sucking tampons for fucking
Oh my
nourishment,
God.
dude. I am not.
dude.
I am not holding my tongue when it comes to this jackass. He first of all lives in his car. Does all his his videos, his debates, if you want to call them that, which is just him running people down, is done out of his fucking Fiat. He's bumming fucking Wi-Fi from McDonald's. That's my best estimation. I don't know what else has
You know
24-hour Wi-Fi.
Here's the thing, though. I think he's faking. I think it's part of his fucking spiel.
It could be.
You know,
Part of-
garner
like his,
garner the
whole-
sympathy.
Yeah.
Okay, Phil said his video was buffering. Ask me that question again. Phil, are we geezers? Are we the geezers you're referring to? These geezers are on our side? Yes, we are. And Lynch wears the geezer hat proud. Me, not so much. I'm kind of like Bret Michaels without the receding hairline and the bandana.
And you're not fat.
Well,
Yeah. Sorry about the buffering, guys. The internet's,
internet's
fucking
fucked up
bad
tonight.
today.
but if you listen to us on audio only on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play Music, tomorrow, the next day, whenever Eddie uploads the episode, you can do that. And if you want to help us out, you want to send us some money, not for Flat Earth Flyers, but to help production costs, you can go to www.patreon.com/Loki
Logan
Jabroni.
Jabroni.
Donate on a monthly basis, weekly basis. You want to donate a whole paycheck. You want to send us on a trip to wherever Cunton is, and we will go bring the pain. That's what we're going to do. If you want to buy some great Loki and Jabroni merchandise, T-shirts, onesies, bumper stickers, coffee mugs, that's cafepress.com/Loki and Jabroni. And also, shopping needs. If you're an Amazon shopper, if you like different things, just go to LokiandJabroni.com, click on where it says Shop Our Affiliates, and check out what we have to offer. I think we're up to, what do we got, like 15 affiliates on there, if the last time I
A
looked.
bunch of them. WWE's on.
Defending his actions. If he's guilty, he's guilty.
Mm-hmm.
However, don't put fuel on the fire for or any shroud of doubt about what he did.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, You go back to, and I know we're in a different time, different era, different place. 25 years ago, the whole O.J. Simpson trial, and they released the crime scene photos. Like general public got to see the crime scene photos. The jury hadn't even seen those photos. So now you have a nation of people determining guilt or innocence based on these photos. And it's just the bodies and the trail and the shoe print and the glove and all that bullshit.
You have told jurors sitting there looking at those that evidence.
Yeah.
Number one, that was mishandled.
Yes.
Number two.
Well,
number two,
allegedly
mishandled.
Don't get me in the Chris Benoit fucking thing.
No,
right now.
no. I agree. Now, number two, not documented properly.
That I'll give.
And you're bringing it before a court. The whole. Have you watched the whole Netflix video of with David Schwimmer and
that was originally I can't remember which station, but I watched it when it was like new.
It was FX.
I couldn't wait for the next week. The People versus O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
Fantastic fucking show.
So I want to say
except
that was probably the best portrayal of the whole situation
mm-hmm.
that they could give.
And the only issue I had with that whole thing was I think Travolta was, even though he's the executive producer, he had a hand in writing it.
Well,
he had a whole good thing, but he blew it. His portrayal of Robert Shapiro was so far from what Robert Shapiro actually is.
Well, it was the end result of what that was supposed to be was like how the whole case was handled
mm-hmm.
and how the trial went.
Yeah.
And that's the aspect they took from what actually happened. Was it mishandled? If it don't fit, we can't acquit. The whole Johnny Cochran defense. If the glove don't fit, we don't fucking acquit.
I can tell you where that went wrong. And if you guys remember the trial, I don't know.
I do vividly.
Ed, where were you? Where were you when this was going on?
Oh, I saw it. That was all on TV.
Okay, because I was a night shift guy.
I was in college.
I would sleep a bit. Same here.
I was in school. I was in junior high.
I would sleep a bit, wake up.
You're young,
right? Watch my OJ fix, sleep a little bit more, then go to work or school or wherever. And the fucking prosecution blew that with the glove, because as they're going to put on the glove, they say no. If he puts his hand in there, he's gonna ruin the evidence. He has to put on a rubber glove first.
Yeah,
which now changes the entire fit of the glove. Without that rubber glove, he probably puts that shit on and goes, "Yeah, look, this fits."
Hey,
but no, now he's struggling, and the best thing they did was don't take your arthritis medicine for 2 days.
Let your hands get swollen. Let your hands get puffy.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm in that camp that thinks his son did it. So
I've always thought that.
So I think those gloves. I think those gloves fit his hands.
Probably, but he's a big boy too. They portrayed him all sorts of wrong.
Even just taking the gloves. Use his paper as a glove.
Use paper as a glove.
But you put it side by side with his hand.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't fucking fit just putting it in front of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
So, whether he did it or not, somebody within his camp.
Here's the thing. I don't think he's innocent. I think he's involved.
No, because he proved himself guilty with the whole fucking art heist or collectible.
Oh, the collectible.
That's different.
It is different.
I think they punished him for both with that crime.
Oh yeah,
you can't.
They proves the fact him hard.
It proves the fact that he's not capable. He is capable of doing violent crime.
Well, he's right there on the tape when he busts into rooms. I'll kill you, motherfuckers.
Nicole's last 3 police pictures. There's proof of that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
nobody denied it in History of Violence.
I have a request, and it's not of you guys. It's of a
which
a
is
viewer.
Another good movie, History of Violence. With
yes,
Viggo Mortensen.
Oh God, Bristol, you're a New Englander. I need updates on the Bruins game, if you can. They start at 7, and go Bees, man. Let's get this done.
Real quick on the OJ thing. There's another documentary that was on Netflix. It was all about Rob Kardashian and him.
I watched that.
Taking
the
bag.
garment bag.
Probably would have solved everything.
OJ
was guilty.
Yeah,
Megan and I watched that about a month ago, and
you see it. And a camera crew saw
the
it.
day he walked out of the house with it. It was full. You could tell it had clothes.
Oh, yeah.
It had something in it. And when he brought it back to trial,
how many people think AC could have been the one?
The whole problem with that whole case is it could have been anybody. It could have been Cato. It could have been fucking AC. It
No,
could have
no, Cato's too stupid.
I don't think Cato's physically capable.
Right?
He's
not,
dumb.
Not for some of the
been. There's no such thing as too stupid, Chris. You could be too stupid to do a crime.
Yeah,
You know, I'm gonna
not-
stop myself. You just jarred my memory because he said physically capable. I said too stupid. I think Jodi Arias is the dumbest woman on the planet, and I don't think she has the physical strength to do some of the things that she went to jail for. But then again, she admitted to it when she cut Travis Alexander's throat. She basically almost
stabbed him like
decapitated
80
him.
fucking times.
29 times and
Come
shot him
on.
twice, and then slit his throat to the point where he was nearly decapitated.
But that's one person. So whoever did this had to take out two.
Exactly. So you have to have some
O.J. son.
beef behind you.
I would say, personally,
Jason, yeah.
I would say personally, with the whole OJ thing, it was two people.
Mhm.
Not saying which two, but it was at least somebody that was intimate with.
Ren and
Nicole.
Stimpy.
No, intimate with Nicole.
Mhm.
Like the son.
They always say that. Not intimate, but
No, I know what you
knew-
mean. But like
knew
OJ's
the
son.
Yeah.
knew the family, knew the patterns,
Mhm.
knew the
Who
whatever.
goes where, when they go, how
Exactly.
they go.
So, whether it's OJ's son or whether it's the fucking driver or whether it's a
Because
housekeeper,
one thing that always bothered me about that case, and they used to do these CGI things of it, they always go on the assumption that whoever did it ran in there, killed them both, and ran away. What if they walked in and were greeted,
Mm-hmm.
did it,
Oh, yeah, by the way,
and then ran away?
yeah. Well, the whole problem is that
it's the whole state of shock thing.
Well,
You know,
no,
oh,
you-
my God, what'd you do?
the whole problem is that the forensic evidence was so tainted
Mhm.
from the beginning of that investigation.
And you have an obviously racist cop.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
Furman.
Mark Furman was a fucking douchebag to
Yeah.
begin with.
And then he got a job with Fox News. So that tells you everything you
Fuck
need to
him.
know.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
Fuck everything he has to say and stand
Swig
for.
a beer to you, my friend. You get a free swig of beer.
I'm taking my water.
The
There you
most
go.
But you can't put anybody in the spotlight to the crime because there's so many motivated people to say
Well, that was
oh,
the
yeah.
thing. In that Kardashian video, is you could see the incompetence or the whole lack of the whole attitude of
There's
what,
no
what do
ch-
we do?
no chain of evidence
Yeah,
at all.
What do we do? This is O.J. Simpson. Do I arrest him? And then it's like it frustrates you because you're like, yeah, you fucking arrest him, just like you would arrest murderer Jones.
Chris Burns for fucking pissing on the street.
My man just went full on Jones.
Yeah, well,
Fucking murderer Jones. Murdering ex-wife Jones.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
He went full on Jones.
but what's fucked up about the whole case is that chain of evidence, the handling of evidence, the whole situation was just fucked from the beginning. So whether I think OJ's innocent or not
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter. That doesn't matter from anybody's perspective. It's the way the evidence was handled. You can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that OJ was the guy wielding the knife, the
Mhm.
gun, the fucking
Absolutely.
machete that killed Nicole
You can
and
read,
Ron Goldman.
You can read that book that I have upstairs that originally he put out called "If I Did It," which was then if. Remember
remember
that the
it. I
little
remember
if
how
I
I
did it.
I remember when you texted me saying I bought this book.
I bought the Goldman book, or
Yeah.
no, it's now the Goldman book, but it's the OJ book.
But he could say whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter at this point.
He in the
The preponderance of the evidence
Mhm.
is that he went through trial through Judge Ito with his defendants
his dream team.
and the prosecution, his dream team. Johnny Cochran with the whole "if it doesn't fit, can't acquit," and the
You must acquit.
you must
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
yeah, you must acquit. The prosecution saying there's no way that he couldn't have done it because of the circumstances from the end result. Him running with Cowlings in the fucking white Bronco. I remember watching that live.
Oh yeah, the suicide. They broke it
with a gun to his head, with a gun to his fucking head,
Third
saying,
time-
"I'm gonna fucking kill myself."
I want to
not
be
the-
with Nicole. I want to be with
It's
Nicole.
not the first time that fucking happened.
Hmm. First of all, they broke into
So
the New York
I will
Knicks
say
game.
there is no doubt there was physical fucking evidence of violence in the relationship. There has always been, and it's been documented by the 3 or 4 reports prior to the murder. There was physical violence in the relationship. It happened.
Mhm.
So you can't deny that.
Yep. But there were also
But leading up to the events of the murder,
Mhm.
you can't say with the evidence that they presented that he actually did it.
but
Now I'm probably gonna get shit for this. I'm not saying he's innocent, but you can't prove he's guilty.
exactly.
Well, that's why
Eh.
I never use the words innocent. It's guilty or not guilty.
Well,
Because
There's
you
there's
can't
a reason for it.
you can't render somebody innocent.
Because the way I feel he's not guilty. I don't think he's innocent,
he may have had a hand in the situation,
or he knows who did it.
Read the book.
and that's the other part.
Read the
part
book.
of my argument is that he may have known who he may have set it up.
Because there's only like 4 people that really know what happened. The killer,
2 of them are dead.
And
3 of them are dead.
3.
Who's the third? Oh, Cochran.
Kardashian died.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kardashian.
Yeah,
Cochran's dead too.
Cochran didn't know. They would never ask him.
You
No.
don't think that in a moment of silence, in a moment of privacy,
I-
full-on candor, he didn't say to
Nope.
Johnny Cochran
No.
because Cochran
before or after?
was in it for his reputation. He wasn't in it to say that OJ.
Every trial lawyer, first thing they said to you is, "I don't want to know if you did it."
I don't give a fuck if you did it. I just want to hear what you have to say.
Mhm.
I don't give a fuck. And Cochran was in it for his fucking reputation.
All right. I'm buying
Because
it.
if you know that your client's guilty, you can't give them the defense they deserve.
And
if you're getting paid enough,
as a
look,
de- as
If he left the case,
no, as a defender, he's absolutely fucking right.
I
because you
understand that. Well,
cannot-
by the letter of the law. However, if you're paying me, if
you
you're,
have to. You have to.
I know what you're
this
saying.
Letter of the law is right behind you because you can't fucking prove anything.
Did you just throw the Kevin Harvick?
I
gimmick?
did because you can't fucking prove letter of the law in this type
All
of
I'm saying
case.
is, if you're Joe every day, and you get rung up for murder, and that's different. If you're O.J. fucking Simpson, that's capital letters with lights blaring, O.J. Simpson,
well,
and you've got the dough behind you, and you pay a lawyer a bunch of money, and Johnny Cochran, look, he's taken on some pretty shady cases over the years
well, and that's part of the
before his death, and
including MJ.
MJ,
He was MJ's
Rodney
last
King,
lawyer.
wasn't he
Yeah.
on Rodney King too?
no.
I'll have to look into that. I thought he was for some reason.
And that's part of the problem is because it's such a high profile case and such a high profile client, you can't get a fair judgment on somebody. Look at Ronnie Spector. Right?
Phil Spector.
Phil Spector.
Ronnie
Excuse
was
me.
the wife back in
Excuse
the
me.
day. No worries.
Look at Phil Spector. They took what the female said at face value.
In
Granted,
the,
again,
his first trial, not the one where he killed the woman.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
At that point, it doesn't matter because he had already been through the system and through the ringer. It doesn't matter what anybody says in his defense. He's already fucking guilty
In the public eye. I'll buy
in the
that.
public
Alright.
the public eye.
Because in
Be-
that trial, you also find out, and I think it was Kardashian later on when he wrote the book, not the big butted hose Kardashian. We're talking about Bob Kardashian, the defense
Well,
attorney.
he's their father.
I know.
Yeah, well,
I know.
he
Well,
is
we,
one of them.
We think he's the father.
Because of him, they exist.
Well, I'm pretty sure that one of them is OJ's. kid.
I wouldn't doubt it, and
I heard that.
I wouldn't doubt that at all. And
I think Chloe, right?
They-
I think
they
Chloe-
turn-
They even talk about that in that documentary
Yep.
you're talking about.
they turn
because-
an Olympic hero fucking tranny. So
it,
yes, I said that, and I deserve to burn in hell.
what's fucked up about the whole situation? and
What's fucked up?
What's fucked up?
Tying into the whole what's fucked up is that no matter what happens in a celebrity circumstance,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's Ike Turner, whether it's fucking Rob Kardashian, O.J. Simpson, whoever, because they're such high profile and in the spotlight, the public perception is always going to be they're going to try to defend whatever the action is.
Oh, of course, because the court of public opinion probably has the biggest weight on general
And-
public Jones.
And that's the problem. You can't fairly prosecute somebody who's in the public eye my opinion,
I don't even think they did that trial in the county because of it.
they had to find a new venue. No,
yeah,
yeah,
I
you're
think-
right.
I
They had
think
to find a
that's
new.
going to-
They did
Because
go
everybody
change
knew
a venue.
OJ.
They had to go to a different fucking venue because, and that's the whole problem. Like, what if who lives in Connecticut? Well, all right,
I live in Connecticut.
no, Paul Newman lived in Connecticut
Paul
for numerous years. Katharine Hepburn. All right, fucking Paul Newman is suspected of stabbing a person in his fucking throat in a grocery store. There's no video.
What?
There's no video. There's no evidence. There's nothing.
Butch
But the-
Cassidy wouldn't do that, man.
But the
Oh,
public
my
perception of
Lord.
Paul Newman, because of his organization with his wife, the camp that they have for
Mhm.
disabled kids. Oh, there's no way Paul Newman would ever do that. There's no way. No way at all that Paul Newman would ever do that. So you can't fairly judge somebody who has this reputation of being a saint. I mean,
so how do you assemble a jury for it then?
you can't. You can move this fucking case to fucking California. It doesn't matter because the public opinion, no matter what venue you go to, is going to be that Paul Newman.
California's filled with his coworkers.
Well, what, I'm all right.
Yeah.
Arizona or fucking. Oh, sorry, Mike. I'm gonna put that back up there for you. Arizona, fucking Colorado, wherever the fuck you want to move the venue to for the trial, it doesn't fucking matter because you can't set up a impartial opinion about the matter.
About a celebrity.
Any celebrity,
Mhm.
you name a celebrity,
Sure.
you can't.
Well, look at the whole Me Too thing, and I get Harvey Weinstein is a creepy cocksucker, and I get that Bill Cosby is guilty as fuck, but you have a guy say with a reputation of a
But-
Gene Simmons, and when that story came out, everybody piled onto Gene Simmons, and he came out and said, "Look, I'm gonna let this play out. You're gonna see, not guilty." Did you hear anything more about it past that? No, you did not, because whoever decided they
Well,
were gonna go after Gene lost their will, and
Well, and that's the big difference between a person like Gene Simmons, who again I don't defend his actions or
No.
anything that happened, but the people that speak up and say something about it, the public buys into the whole.
sure.
You get what I'm saying?
Who was the last guy that came out and said apology?
Harvey
apology
Weinstein
before?
fucking said no fucking way, and then 50 fucking actresses and
Well, that's
wannabes wanted to come up and say no, fuck you. He did this to me. He came into my hotel room in a robe with no underwear and pulled his cock out and
Mhm.
tried to do this with me. He didn't say I didn't do it.
Mm-hmm. Harley Rose from the CBS News.
Who was looked upon as
Oh my
the most respected journalist for
Exactly.
number of years. It's like saying fucking Larry King, who again another respected journalist,
Mhm.
whether you like him
Matt
or not.
Lauer. Now he's
Uh,
the bottom of the barrel.
Built.
But again, he didn't say I didn't do it.
Well,
No.
there's like devices built into his office to like trap people.
Well,
so
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're living in a world where there's cameras everywhere. You should know that you're being watched,
Mm-hmm.
and you should know that you're being scrutinized from every action you do.
Yeah, we're in a
So,
very
if
electronic
you
world
fuck-
right now.
If you fuck up, just say, "Yeah, you know what? I fucked up."
I fucked up. Let me make it up.
Admit it. Move on. Get on with your life.
But-
Because if you deny it, you're going to be
gets
fucked
worse.
even worse.
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't think it matters.
In this day and age, or ever.
No. Whether you admit it, apologize, whatever. You apologize is gonna make it worse.
Mm.
Then
Mm.
they'll come
Yeah.
after you. No, they'll come after you twice as hard.
Okay.
It
Ruin
depe-
everything
it-
about you. They'll dox you. They'll
But
call
it-
your
it
place
dep-
of business.
I will say it depends upon where you stand in the status of the community. So if I'm Matt Lauer and I'm accused of groping somebody at the Sochi Olympics,
Mhm.
groping a fucking downhill alpine skier,
Sure.
Yeah.
and I say, yeah, you know what, I did it, and she accepts that apology, it's all about the acceptance of the victims.
Look, and a lot of these people
Yeah,
don't
but it
understand.
doesn't matter what
Go
the
ahead,
victim
Eddie,
says.
because I got something.
No,
I
it
got
actually,
something.
it actually,
Fuck.
no, it actually does, because if the victims say, I accept this apology, and I forgive him,
We can all move
it was
along.
a moment of weakness, I can move along, and we're
Well-
kumbaya about it.
I give
He
you,
went
And that's-
kumbaya.
I give you an example that's not true though. What's
Make
his
your
name?
point.
The-
I'll be
the-
right
the-
back.
the-
Remind me, I
the
have a point about this.
Roman
go ahead.
Polanski.
Oh,
That was
well,
going to be
he
my
fu-
point.
The girl,
Never
fucking
mind.
right-
the
you raped
girl
us.
involved doesn't feel victimized, doesn't want to talk about it, wishes everybody would let it go. Nobody cares what she says.
Difference being is that Roman Polanski is not a U.S. citizen. They don't look at him in the same light as they would look at like Richard Gere or fucking John Travolta or anybody of the U.S. popularity.
But I'm just saying that the popular, and it's usually out of convenience, the popular thing with Roman, I mean, I don't like Roman Polanski. I think he's a scumbag, but the popular thing
He
would
made
be
good
to
movies, but
latch on to what he did because it's convenient to like prove a point.
well, and that
And he, like they said, with the two thing and the Time's Up thing and all that. Meanwhile, the person who is involved says, "Let it go."
Yeah.
No, we can't let it go. Don't you understand?
well, and that goes to my whole
Yeah.
point on popular opinion. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what he did was right or wrong. It's the matter of what the populace thinks about the situation. It's what's convenient for the media. It's what's convenient for
See,
the news to fucking put in your face every goddamn day, and what's convenient for
well, see, I don't.
what
I don't,
Hollywood has to think about the situation.
But I don't think. See, I don't think eating the humble pie works anymore.
It-
I think if somebody fire, and honestly, love him or hate him, the president is proof of this. If they punch you, you need to punch back twice as hard.
Yes.
That's the only way.
Well, yeah,
So-
and
so
I
if
will
some-
agree with that
and-
point. And
And some snot nosed little brat wants to fight with you and start calling you a racist, be like, "Yeah, well, you're retarded." That's what you say to him. Well, you're retarded. And they're like, how can you say retarded? I'm like, I don't know.
I
That's
can't-
just
I-
queer of me to do.
I
How can
can't-
you say racist?
I can't.
Everybody's racist
I can't
nowadays. I
It's
don't know
just-
why.
You can't.
I cannot disagree with that
You
line.
can't
train of
defend
thought.
yourself. You can't. The only
You're-
thing you can do is punch back at the mob.
All right.
It's a point where you're damned if you do, you're damned if you
Mhm.
don't.
We should move forward. Who's in the rotation now?
No, here's the real quick.
Go ahead.
If you try to cater to them either by defending yourself, apologizing, or whatever, you're giving validity to what they're saying about you.
Exactly.
If you respond with, "Well, you're an asshole," "Well, you're stupid,"
right.
you're cutting their validity away.
No, you're taking
You
you're
need-
taking their point away from them.
So even like with the president, even though half the shit people say about him is true, just the sheer fact that he's like, "Well, you're fake news."
Well,
Look what it's done.
you got to have the balls to stand up for yourself. And the one thing I will say about our current regime is that he has the balls to say, "Fuck you," whether it's right or wrong. Fuck you.
Right.
You know.
And the thing is, in a subtle way, and it happens all the time, he exposes the swamp. Like here's the thing,
Exactly.
he
Well,
is draining
It's
the
it's
swamp.
what he came in to do.
Yeah.
He's exposing the dichotomy of, well, not the dichotomy, but the
No.
experience of being in office,
Mm-hmm.
right or wrong. He says,
He's trying to kill partisan politics,
Exactly.
which is a good thing.
"To fucking bipartisanship does not exist.
I honestly don't think it should.
It shouldn't.
Agreed.
Because there's such thing as bad ideas.
Yeah.
And no matter what
AOC, right there. The
And
Green
no matter
New
what,
Deal.
but
Bullshit.
no
And
matter
look-
what office whatever side of the fence you're on, who brings it up, right or wrong, just discuss it. It doesn't meet a Republican idea, Democrat idea. Who gives a fuck whose idea it is?
See,
Just make it fucking work.
from my point of view, that's the thing though. Some people just have bad ideas. From my point of view, taking more money, not on the table. It is not on the table. It's like giving that brother-in-law that keeps showing up with the latest scam money. How long before you stop giving him money? You realize you're
Yeah.
never
Oh,
going
I
to
got some prime swamp down in Florida to sell you.
And don't talk to me about the fucking roads. You want to talk about a pothole?
Yeah.
The Connecticut flower is in bloom and it looks like a cone.
Big
Yeah.
fucking rock.
So seriously, like things like that just not open for discussion. We're like, well, we need free college. We need that. No, more money is not an option.
Well, and that's something I think is fucked up is that you bring it to the table is the whole toll system.
Oh Christ!
I'll tell you what, I'll support a toll system if you get rid of the income tax.
There you go.
Well,
Works for Florida.
Then I'll only pay for the roads I use.
It's give and take. So I'm going to give more money here, take away from the left column. So if I'm paying more money in my taxes, let's get rid of the tolls. If I'm paying more money on tolls, let's get rid of the taxes. There's got to be compromise. I don't give a fuck what party you are. There's got to be compromise on either side of the fucking table to make it fair to everybody.
Exactly. And I just want taxes to be even. And I think 0 is the most even number.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'll buy it.
you can't argue with goose egg.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
You can never fucking argue with
Wow,
goose egg.
we beat that shit to oblivion. Who's up in the rotation?
I want to say it's you or Eddie.
No, you.
Okay.
I did the
Chris.
bunny.
Oh yeah, you did. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Creed bunny.
I'm gonna do this one. This is gonna be my long hit, and then I'll have a quick hit at the end, like we always do with our quick hit stories. You guys familiar with the Turpin case?
Yes.
You are now. If you haven't been before, you are now. The Turpins. I'm not even going to justify saying their actual first names, but the mother and the
Disgusting.
father of the Turpin family. If you've never seen the documentary, go find the Turpin 13. You'll be disgusted beyond belief. They went to what was it? Just this past Friday, they went in for sentencing, and what was it? The thinking was they were going to get the minimum of 25 years.
Yeah.
The best thing to happen here is they had what was it? They call them impact statements in certain states.
Yes.
In some states, they call them victim statements.
Yes.
The two oldest children that were affected by this, who are now above the age of 21 and have the legal right in that state.
One of them's 29, right?
I think so.
You might be right.
I was
They're
shocked
over
when I
the
read
age of
it.
21, so
Yeah.
they're now, after all of this, they're now legally, they can go and give an impact statement, victim statement, what have you. And from all news reports, the first thing I heard that morning was the Turpins are, going to be sentenced today. Impact statements will be given, yada yada. So the two older kids, give their impact statements. They tell the judge, hey, put them under the fucking jail. What they did to us, whatever. It took the jury 49 minutes
Yep.
to come back with life imprisonment. That is awesome. Do you know what's fucked up?
It's fucked up.
What the fact that these three kids had to go through, and again, if you don't know about the Turpin kids, go look it up. It is horrifying. Angela and I watched the documentary. We'd followed the story, but until we saw the documentary and actual file footage of the bunk beds with shackles, with ropes, with leather restraints like you would have for someone who's clinically insane and going crazy, and the fact that they were denied decent nutrition, they were denied medical care.
They didn't even know what medical care was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And these were people that people looked up to in their different neighborhoods, and then one day the two of them snapped, lost their fucking holes, and started just basically torturing these kids. What's fucked up is that two parents, and there's stories about this, all over the place. There was just one recently where a 5-year-old was found to be malnourished, I don't want to say under-medicated, but not given the proper medical, etc. This was 13 fucking kids.
No. How do you
13
justify
fucking
that?
kids? I mean, you got to be a special kind of sick to do this. And again, we watched that documentary together, and usually when Angela and I watch a documentary together, there's a little bit of banter back and forth. There's,
Right.
What do you think of this? What do you think of this?
Right.
Where do you think this is going to go? Slack-jawed for the entire 2 hours. And you get to the end, and the credits start to roll, and I think it was Angela that spoke up first. It is, can you imagine? No, I cannot.
How can you do that 13 times over to a kid?
Not even to one kid, but to like you said, to
How-
13 freaking kids.
How do you get away? All right, this is. I'm gonna rant about the state for a second.
Sure.
How do you have 13 children
Mhm.
and they just completely disappear out of the system?
Homeschool, which I'm still not a fan of. They were homeschooled. The mothers, they're both very intelligent.
know
The
what, though?
father was an engineer. The mother was professor level Jones
Even-
in her education.
But
Yeah.
even homeschooling, you're still in a system
Yes.
because they keep track of that. And when you're born,
You're still
you're given a
held
social
to
security
level.
number and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like, so how they essentially they have these kids, and I'm assuming they have them in hospitals or something.
Sure. I don't know the
No,
beginning
no.
of their life. I just know how their life turned out at that X, and then now we're
You
going
see-
to Y,
You
and
see what
they're
I'm saying though? Like, how do you do that? And they had them, like I said, I'm pretty sure one of them was like 29 years old. So this
Mm.
was going on for
A
long
long
fucking
time.
yeah,
Long time.
years, like
Yeah.
6-7 years.
And I could understand hiding the 29-year-old all that time because things were like still on paper a lot. So,
Right.
But the youngest ones, how do you get away with that? Like, you just
Well, I give credit to the 17-year-old at the time who is now, I believe, 20 or 21. She might have been one of the impact statements that for 2 years was mapping her escape route. Like, how do I get out of here and stop
wow.
the madness?
Wow.
It came out in the trial that, it came out in the documentary that she's the one that escapes, and they had internet. I mean, she was on YouTube singing and has an incredible singing voice. And I'm like, okay, if you're on YouTube, you got your own channel. When do you go, hey, motherfucker, I'm
by the
being
way.
held
Oh, by the way.
hostage
it's probably
Yeah.
being
by my
watched.
parent? Same.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But 2 years she was mapping out her plan to get out and to shine a light on this. And when she finally does, and what the authorities found is just, terrible. Just
it's a lot like
terrible.
remember that case where they found those the three girls in that guy's basement,
In Cleveland, it was
And,
in an attic, actually.
and like that dude. I remember people. Actually, we covered this story. Like, people making fun of him because he was not a well-spoken man. And
Yeah.
everything. He's like, oh yeah, I walk by, just doing my thing, trying to help people out, and
Mhm.
people are like mocking him a little bit. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, guy just saved 3 people's lives.
Exactly. And what happened to Ariel Castro? They
I think
arrest him. They go to
that's him.
jail.
Yeah.
No. Ariel Castro was the guy that held him. The guy who
Yeah.
saved the
That's
girl
what I
was
mean.
the
That was the case.
ill-spoken.
That was the case.
Yeah, but Ariel Castro, he gets arrested before they even. Like, it was like fucking 3 weeks. Hangs himself. He
Ugh.
knows. Same with Aaron Hernandez. He knows. Hangs himself. Same. It just boggles my mind that even as a parent, and you as a sort of a step parent, and you as a godparent, and anybody out there with kids, like, how? Fucking why? I mean, there are times I want to smack the ever-loving shit out of my daughter, but at no point do I want to chain her to a bed and deny her the services that she needs to become an active member of society. At no point does that ever cross my mind.
It's got to be some kind of mental illness with those people.
And I'm sure,
It's
and,
like,
and
fuck,
they
man.
went through, they actually had to go through the psychiatric evaluation because there were lawyers on both sides saying
Looking
they're
at-
not fit.
Looking at their pictures, they
Yeah.
look fucking tapped.
Did they not load Prince Valiant, the fucking father, and all the kids had the same fucking Prince Valiant haircut too,
Yeah.
which drove me nuts. Which it already points to a cult, just like Flat Earth, by the way, and it just
Earth.
points to they wanted to have like this cult, like here are our children, and we're gonna Jim Jones, whatever. That's an actual name. It's
Yeah,
not
no.
me playing Jones. I just looked at you for that one, but
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
don't drink the beer if you're gonna do anything.
Don't
But
drink the water.
Cripes, how do you do that to your own children? Not just one, 13 fucking children.
Now, did any of them die?
No.
No. They all lived, but
Well-
they all were malnourished.
Oh, and these kids, and it's side question, how bad are their psyches scarred going forward to trust
No,
another
they
human
will
being?
never ever be capable to trust another human in society. Ever.
Well, the one who escaped, maybe. That's usually
Possibly, yeah.
She,
She had the
she's-
wherewithal.
She was
Maybe.
showing a sign of
Maybe.
this ain't right. I need to get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she
You
because
know?
she knew in her mind that I'm like, I
'Cause
gotta
you
get out
know
of here.
what the fuck's it called? Stockholm syndrome.
Yes.
Because you get that really bad
Yeah.
in these kind of situations. So I imagine some of them, probably the younger ones, want to go back.
Maybe.
You know,
Who knows?
Obviously, they can't talk about those kids because they're minors.
Right.
But
Right.
Because I think the youngest one was 9 at the time. Now they'd be 13, 14.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Ish.
That's a tough row, man. I mean, how is that kid gonna ever bounce back?
Never. Seriously. Never.
well, sometimes like you go through the worst, you end up just fine.
Mm-hmm.
You
Look at
know, it's-
Elizabeth Smart. The girl that was abducted from her bedroom by the fucking weirdo that was
Yep.
working on the house. And for 8 months, 9 months, people are looking for her, like all over the place. She's less than 3 miles from the home, up in the mountains, living in this little fucking tent commune. She's down in town, and she has the wherewithal. And again, 9 months is not 5, 6, 7 years, but somebody asked her, they recognized her, facial features and eyes. Are you Elizabeth Smart? Nodded her head. Yes, I am. And ta-da! She's back, and she's doing wonderful things now. If you ever, follow, I'm a big fan of MSN.com for most things news, not all things news. But to see her recent story,
You
she's
like
married.
Rachel Maddow, don't
No,
you?
I don't. I think Rachel Maddow should fall screaming from a helicopter while her family watches in horror as she plunges into a pool of acid
I think
and
she
her
should be
bones rot
fired
away.
for Russia
The same,
coverage.
same. But
Wow.
to see Elizabeth Smart doing such wonderful things with her life, and she bounced back, and that's what I hope for these Turpin kids. Seriously, I just want them to be healed in some. They'll never be fully healed, but
oh God, no.
just
Ever.
so
Not ever.
just so they can walk forward in life. We talked about it with Jimmy Wisman, the Carpenter case in Old Lyme, the young lady who was the center of controversy. They hired a hitman. They shot the father.
Yep.
She's here. She lives in Norwich. I've met her.
Yep.
I've actually spoken with her. She's doing well for herself. And, that's a kid that bounced back. So, you can overcome. Let's hope that these 13 kids can finally overcome.
I know obviously they got life in prison. I think it would have been more appropriate if the jury had framed it that each charge would be followed the same number of years each kid was.
Ooh.
No.
All the way
Wow.
up to 20. It'd
Yeah.
still be life.
Nice.
But if they had read it
Yeah.
out that way, it's
Right.
psychological and that's
Count 1 on Jim is 29 years. Count 2 on Beverly is 21 years. Count 3 on Charlie is 18 years. Oh, yeah.
to be
No.
served consecutively.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep, I agree.
That is fantastic.
That's what I would have done.
All right.
That's
so
why they need to put me on a jury, goddammit.
I tried to get out of jury once, man, and
I keep
I got
getting
booted.
called. They never get picked.
I got booted in the worst way because I knew too many people that were testifying.
In that New York tattoo.
Sucks.
No, there was you remember you guys are local to us in Norwich, Connecticut. There was a shooting outside of a place called the Sportsman's Club,
Yep.
which is now Putnam Bank in our town.
Yep.
And I got jury duty, so I went down and I got my little sticker, and I'm sitting there and I got my notebook, and they're saying, "Okay, you guys are in the pool to be on a murder case." Oh, immediately my dick got hard. I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." Oh yeah.
baby.
Civic duty.
Yes! Special Victims Unit Jones is in the house, and the camera just ate it. So if you can't see us, that's a problem. But if you're on audio only, nothing happened. So, I'm on this jury pool, and they're explaining the case, and they say, "Are any of you familiar with the shooting outside of the Sportsman Club?" And I'm like, a couple of us raise our hand. We know. What is going on over there? Does that not screw in anymore? What's
I
the
don't
fucking
have the
story?
thing. I don't have the thing.
We're gonna make you something. We just gotta make you something. And
I just don't have the thing with me.
I understand.
Make me
I understand.
God.
so they're talking about it, and we've read all your. They give you the survey. If you're on a murder case, you get a survey, which is great. So yes, I'm in favor of the death penalty. Yes, I'm in favor of this. No, I'm not in favor of this. So it gets to the point where each one of us has to sit in a little box where the witness sits, and I'm staring at the guy who's being charged, and I'm staring at the other lawyers, and it's like, well, we've read off the list of potential witnesses. Do you know the defendant? No, I do not. Okay. Do you know the prosecuting attorney, the defending attorney? No, I do not. Do you know anybody on the witness list?
Yes.
Let me explain.
Yeah. Yes.
There was
Yeah.
there were 15 cops that I knew because obviously I grew up in a cop family.
Yep.
There were 3 firefighters that I knew. There were 4 different people who worked for the EMS service that I knew. I knew 2 of the witnesses. I knew like 25 people. They say, okay, Mr. Burns, if you'll step, or I'm sorry, number 18, one off of my lucky number. I should have been 19, but number 18, if you'll step out. And I stepped out, and about 15 minutes later, I get brought back in, and it's like, okay. And the judge opens up this little paper. He says, okay. Having read your survey, we have no doubt that you could be a fantastic juror on this case. And the paper gets folded, and I just thought, oh, fuck, there it goes.
You're done.
However, The fact that you know this many people, the fact that 2 of the witnesses were at your brother's wedding, the fact that you grew up with this one and you know this one and you still play softball with this one, unfortunately, we have to excuse you.
It's
Heart
a good
Comes out of my ass. Thank you, fuck you, bye.
You know what hurts me
Yep.
even more?
Is
That when you're just get the letter and you
Mhm.
come in, you're good for like 3 years or some shit.
Yep.
And I was just like, is there any way I can not be good for the 3 years? They're like, no, we can't do that.
Okay.
And I'm like, I wanted to be on a jury. I've
It's
gotten
a-
called
I
twice.
wanted it, dude.
Son of a bitch.
The first thing when I heard is like, this is a murder trial. Like, fucking jerking off under the table.
Oh,
I
man.
might have spewed on my
I don't
notebook
even
a
need
little
it to be
bit.
I don't even need it to be a murder trial. I just need give me some property. Fucking
Exactly.
dispute. Dude, I'm fucking libertarian.
I
know
want the big
property.
shit.
I would been like, no, this guy should be able to build whatever the fuck he wants on his lawn.
Bingo.
And it'd be like, I'm sorry, we'll have no need for you.
Yep. The only beautiful thing is it was in New London, and I got to go to my favorite comic book shop and browse around after the fact because I got bounced at like noon 30, 1 o'clock right after lunch. So I had 4 more hours. I'm still getting paid. I'm gonna go down to Sarge's Comics and dick around, and I picked up some really great stuff that day.
Well,
So
The last one I got called for was an assault case. You know,
Ooh.
and the suspect and everything, the accused and the defense are all there, and the guy just looked fucking smarmy as fuck, and I'm just sitting there just like,
Fuck you.
and like, any of you know this person, that person? Nope. Then it got
it's like a scene from My Cousin Vinny. How do you feel about the
I'm
death
not
penalty?
originally.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. Well, these two murdered murdered this guy in cold blood. Put him under the jail. She'll do.
Yeah.
That's Eddie. That's Eddie in a nutshell,
Nah,
right
nah,
there.
I'm not like for the death penalty necessarily.
I am, and I wished our state used it still.
I don't think the state should have the authority to kill someone.
Gotcha. And you're next, and that's what's. Oh no, Eddie's next actually, because I went Turpin. Are you going to the gimmick thing or?
Yes.
All right. Well, let me move forward just a little bit. God, and you're breaking shit as you leave. What in the? Can we get the mayor of Middletown in here anytime soon? Is this? Where is she? She was working. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's here because the fucking internet keeps dropping.
Yeah, they'll get it on audio only, or they'll watch it after the fact. And oh, look, I just saved your shit.
Dude,
Killed the Kiss CD, but
it's like wrapped around his
good
foot.
granny.
Holy shit.
This is why you need to watch on YouTube, kids, because
This
you
is
get to see
all right.
stupid
Just
shit like
this
this.
is a word of advice. Loki used to come out back this way.
Yeah, I mean Eddie's thick, but he's not that thick.
Just saying.
I've lost weight too.
Yeah, and you have, and you look semi great. I say semi because well, you know.
Semi truck.
All right. Do you got anything for us, Ed? You're next in the rotation.
No, why not? No,
Well, then let me take another one.
go for it. The bunny thing was really fucking peak for me. I
All right.
fucking loved
Well,
it.
and I'm waiting for Lynch because I begged you guys to watch a particular documentary, and whether you did or not doesn't matter. Now you will. There's a really great 7-part series that's going on a channel called Viceland called Dark Side of the Ring. If you're a wrestling fan, if you're not a wrestling fan,
Yeah, I can't get it.
if you you can get it on YouTube after the episodes run their course on
Mhm.
on demand or whatever. YouTube's uploading all of them, which is great, and I think it's through Viceland actually. The first one was on Bruiser Brody. If you're unfamiliar with Bruiser Brody, he was a really wild professional wrestler, one of the last outlaw wrestlers that would go into a territory, make his money, and leave. He was huge in Japan. Huge.
Big
He was
league.
also huge in Puerto Rico, and in 1988, in July, he went in to do a match. He's in the locker room. He's there with former. Well, he wasn't a guest on our show, but we did a live event with him. Tony Atlas.
Mhm.
He was there with Dutch Mantel, Abdullah the Butcher, etc. And he gets stabbed in the locker room by one of the promoters. And Jose Gonzalez stabs Bruiser Brody, kills Frank Goodish, who is Bruiser Brody, and the weirdest thing. Again, I'm not going to spoil too much. Watch the documentary. Gonzalez gets off scot-free. Self-defense was the whole defense. Do you know what's fucked up?
What's fucked up?
Atlas and Dutch Mantel will both tell you that they got their subpoenas 2 days after the verdict came out.
Wow.
Yeah,
How the fuck does
it's
that?
Puerto Rico, man. And I know they're a U.S. Territory. I know there's a lot of crazy shit that goes on in Puerto Rico. The cops actually, at one point when they were talking to, I believe it was Dutch Mantel, made the comment, "You tell Carlos Colon, the one of the owners of the company, he doesn't run this island. We
Right.
do,
Yeah.
and we're gonna get to the bottom of this." But when you don't send subpoenas to the guys who need to be there, because I have a good feeling if Dutch Mantel, if Tony Atlas, if Abdullah the Butcher, whoever was in that locker room, who saw the events, because Cologne didn't say shit. Their business partner Victor Jovica didn't say shit.
Right.
Obviously, Jose Gonzalez is going to say, "Yeah, it was in self-defense. Brody hit me." Look, get the witnesses, get them in there. If you, it's a fair trial. It's a U.S. territory.
Subpoena's got to be hand delivered though.
Yes, they do.
Nobody went over there to hand deliver them.
Nope.
Nope, because Atlas, Abbey, and Dutch all live in the States. So now you have this, there's a disconnect. Again, 1988, we're talking about a different time, different era, but this is also a culture that believed that everything they saw on television in the arenas was real. Like when they saw Bruiser Brody and Abdullah the Butcher, they thought, "Oh shit, they're killing each other." When they saw Brody and Invader, which was Jose Gonzalez's gimmick with the mask and all that bullshit, they thought what they were seeing was real. In the documentary, it says, if you were disliked, they would throw batteries at you. They'd throw cups full of piss at you. They would bring bags of feces and throw the bag with holes in it or whatever and hit you with bags of shit, basically. That's how seriously the Puerto Rican public took wrestling in 1988. What the most fucked up thing, and I have to ask it because it's the theme of the show. Do you know what's fucked up?
What's fucked up?
Let's talk though.
To this day, Jose Gonzalez, Invader #1, still promotes himself as available for birthday parties,
Oh my
etc.,
God.
so forth, and people are hiring him despite all of this. And this documentary,
Despite the fact that he stabbed someone to death.
Right.
Mhm. And the craziest thing again, please, guys, Eddie, Chris, anybody watching, go to YouTube, type in "Dark Side of the Ring" Bruiser Brody. It's 45 minutes long. Watch it, and then get back to me and tell me what you thought. I'll bring it up on next week's show. I'll get all of your input. But
Wow.
fuck.
I mean, really.
Again, you have all these people who saw this, and at the end of the day, this guy is still out doing his thing.
It's like hiring George Zimmerman to babysit.
Why not hire O.J. Simpson?
Yeah, it was too easy. That's low hanging.
No way easy.
If Charles Manson were still alive and not in jail, could you, hey, let's hire Charles Manson to speak at our gimmick fest or whatever,
Because he would convince your kids to kill your parents.
Yeah.
right?
Well,
I just, there's just something about, again, we've all said it, the justice system is flawed.
Yeah.
When this was happening, and Tony Atlas tells the story, and I don't want to ruin the documentary. You know what? That just sit to the side. We're having too much trouble with that. Tony Atlas picks up Brody because the guys can't lift the gurney. He's easily 360 at the time. And Brody says, "Don't drop me, brother." And Atlas says, "Dude, I curl more than you weigh."
Yeah.
Lifts him right up, carries him to the ambulance. The stadium they're filing into the stadium. It's a 60,000 seat stadium. So the ambulance takes a good hour to get to the hospital. Atlas says in the documentary, the whole time, from the time he was stabbed to the time I put him on the gurney, I'm in the ambulance with him. We get to the hospital. I'm in the hospital with him. He's clutching a picture of his, at the time, 6-year-old son.
wow.
And he keeps saying to people, "Take care of my boy. Take care of my wife. Don't let them hurt me anymore." And that's the most fucked up thing is
Wow.
that he knew this was coming from the office. And Carlos Colon, I don't know how, but he's a WWE Hall of Famer. His son wrestled there, and I don't put the sins of the father on the son. But if you remember Carlito, the cool guy with the apple and all that
Yep.
bullshit, he was a wrestler there. They put his father in the Hall of Fame. And when that happened, I was like, how the fuck are you going to put this guy in the Hall of Fame when there's such a dark cloud over his head? And this past WrestleMania, they have the Hall of Fame and they have the legacy wing where they just throw people in that deserve it. Brody gets in. And I'm like, you couldn't have his wife and kid get up on the stage and say thank you and wave to the people. And no, they just kind of threw him in, kind of like they did Luna Vachon, who I work next to Tano Smokehouse, where Luna Vachon's son is the head cook. He's been on Hell's Kitchen. Fantastic guy. His name is Van. Van, if you're out there, big ups to you, my man. They just threw her in. Luna Vachon. Well, here's Luna Vachon. Kind of like they did with China with DX. Oh, here's China. Fuck it. Brody deserved that honor more than Colon did. And they just kind of wiped their feet on his legacy. And they wiped their feet on his memory with everything. And this dark side of the ring is hopefully going to expose for all of you a lot of things that are dirty in the wrestling business. And going forward, this week is going to be the Von Erich brothers. I'm waiting for this one. Yes, I'm waiting for this one. Last week was the Montreal Screwjob, which we covered some time ago. The second one was Macho Man and Elizabeth. There's a lot of dirty shit you guys don't know about when it comes to the wrestling business. If you think you're smart, you're not. Watch the fucking documentaries. This is told by the people that were there. To see Linda Hogan, or now she's back to being Linda, whatever the fuck she was before she married Hulk. Tell the story about Liz.
She don't mind keeping his money.
Oh, no. She's all good with the dough. I think she's back to being Linda Balea or Linda Kapechna that she was before. To tell the story about how Liz was afraid of Randy. I'm like, oh, shit, I'd heard stories, but until you hear it firsthand from the people that were there, you can read all the Dave Meltzer bullshit you want.
Juicing.
Oh, yeah. You can read all the Dave Meltzer dirt sheet bullshit you want, but until you hear it from the people that were there, you don't know shit. Think you're smart? Watch Dark Side of the Ring. Next. You got another story, or are you you just sitting there to be sexy?
I'm always sexy.
There you go,
Come on.
my man.
What are you talking about?
I know.
Come on.
I do what I do. It is what it is. Come on, give me a good one, because if I'm waiting this long.
We did a little bit of Robert Kraft.
Yep.
Here we go.
He's got one.
Man who was arrested after disturbance at a bar grew up with female fingerprint technician's buttocks while she was booking him. So this guy was getting booked in a jail and fingered, put his fingers on her or in her,
near her, around her, doesn't matter.
In or around her vaginal area.
In and around, I like that.
While he was being booked on a crime.
Yep.
Tell me she
What
shot
the
him.
fuck? You're already being fucking
There's no
arrested.
need to get shot. How do you say no? Look, and look, if I got fingerprint juice on my hands or the ink or whatever, and I touch Lynch on his arm, guess what you're gonna see? Two fucking
His
black
fucking
fingerprints.
fingers. And this was in.
I didn't do it. Tell me
Oh,
Florida.
fuck.
Please tell me Florida.
Oh god, I'm trying to find it
I think
right
they
now.
like take them digitally now, don't they?
Yes and no. Certain places, yes.
Depends on the jail, and
Precinct,
where.
the state,
Yeah.
etc. Yeah.
This is the picture I sent you. So
Yeah, I remember that.
Pinellas Park,
Pinellas Park. Guess where, guys?
Florida.
Florida.
Yep.
Florida.
I'm telling you, we had a
thank
ban
you, Florida.
on Florida for a while, but they're just the gift that keeps on giving.
Thank you, Florida, for giving us fucked up.
I got a
news.
Florida story that I didn't want to use today, but I can now that.
Go for it. We got time for a quick hit or two.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll
we're
give.
good.
I was gonna have Jose Gonzalez be my quick hit, but that was so fucked up.
Jesus Christ!
A gentleman in Florida recently who rigged his car to look like a cop car, turns on the blue and red lights, woo woo, pulls over a car with a man and a woman in it, looking to jack them. Guess who's in the car?
Another
Off-duty
cop.
cop.
So you say this. There's a YouTube channel called, I want to say, Police Activity.
Okay.
There was just another video posted 2 days ago
Mm-hmm.
of a guy posing as a cop
Yeah.
pulled over a car because he didn't like the way he was driving, or actually a motorcyclist. Excuse
Okay.
me. He didn't like the way he was driving. Long story short, wasn't a cop.
Of course not.
Demanded the guy's ID. Guy gave up his ID, of course, because he thought he was a cop.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
I actually I totally forgot about this story
Mm-hmm.
since we're talking about cops and you know how
I know how Eddie loves his
I am
some cops.
I am fascinated with like body cam videos and like live PD.
So
I
Yeah.
texted you the other night. Oh,
Yeah.
live PD's on.
Yeah.
so Tuesday afternoon.
Last Tuesday or today?
Oh,
Actually, Tuesday afternoon they just the
last Tuesday.
New
I'm sure.
Haven police or Hamden police
Hamden,
released
yeah.
a video at fired at 2 unarmed people in a New Hayville neighborhood. One of them was shot, sent to the hospital, and one of them was okay. And I guess there was a Yale cop on the other side that had showed up at the same time, and it was just there was almost actually I think they both shot, so there was a little crossfire going
Yeah.
on. And then I guess the New Haven Police Department did not notify Hamden that they were going into Hamden, so that now there's a border cross on top of a shooting because the 2 people were in a car that looked like was involved in a crime. So this thing's getting uglier and uglier and uglier. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again: New Haven cops are fucking corrupt.
Well, yeah.
Well, and there's
Most corrupt in the state.
not New Haven related, but there's another video on that channel, I think, on YouTube, where there's crossfire, and this poor fucking cop who's been on the force for like 30 years gets shot because the rookie on the driver's side is trying to subdue the driver,
Mm-hmm.
tases and then shoots the cop on the passenger side.
Oh.
And he in the passenger side cop is even saying crossfire, 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 and he gets fucking shot in the arm, just taken down. 30-year fucking veteran on the force, and this douchebag on the passenger side.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I love cops. I think I stand for what they do, right or wrong. Stand behind them, but
Yeah, you don't want to stand in front of them.
No.
boom. But be fucking aware of your surroundings. Come on, man. I mean, I have spent hours and hours and hours from like 11 o'clock at night till 3 in the morning. Are the Bees winning?
Bruins end of the first, 2-0
No,
Bruins
it's-
over the bullshit cocksucker Toronto Maple Leafs.
Fuck you, go Leafs.
Eat shit.
Go Leafs.
The talent wins. The producer eats shit.
That guy,
Anyway,
that guy
anyway-
deserved to get lit
anyway-
on fire.
Oh no, you did not.
all right, we're not talking hockey here.
Fuck.
This isn't a hockey show. This is,
Next week will be a hockey show.
this is what's
No,
fucked
it
up.
won't
I'm gonna
actually.
be sick next week.
But I spent numerous hours between the hours of 10 o'clock at night till 1 in the morning watching videos of dash cams and body cams of cops doing their job. Running into sovereign citizens,
Mm-hmm.
where I think we talked about this last
Keep
week.
fighting, brothers.
Yeah, we're fuck you.
Fuck you.
Oh no, I'm not driving. I'm traveling.
Yes.
I
same,
did
same.
not consent to that police officer's authority.
Oh, here
It doesn't
we go.
matter. It doesn't fucking matter. You're a cop.
You just breaking shit again. Lynch is breaking shit.
I did nothing. I had nothing to do with that.
That was me.
All right.
That was definitely me.
God, audio only look is so much better this week. So much better.
Well, dude, fucking
I
internet-
know.
Internet shit anyway.
I know we're having a bad week. Next
Chances
week.
are nobody even saw this.
All right. Well, if they do, they'll comment underneath as they do.
But anyway, I'm traveling. I'm not driving. I'm a traveler because I'm not driving a commercial vehicle. All right, letter of law, you're fucking right.
Nope. Hold
What?
on. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna use it.
No.
Horse
Don't.
shit.
We did this last week. Let's not do it.
I'm not
again.
doing it. I is it this one? Horse shit. Nope. I you know what? I
No.
give up.
It's a button.
It's just horse shit from now on.
But
Fuck it. Horse shit.
no matter what, you're a fucking traveler or driver on a public roadway, and there's cops that are enforcing their laws to. You need to have a driver's license to drive, insurance, proof of reg, whatever. Provide it. Just fucking give it to the cop and be along your fucking way. Why would you fight that? Why would you fight it?
Why'd he stop me?
I got a funny
All right,
story.
so I'm going. The speed limit's 55 or 65. I'm doing 90 in roadway.
Well, that's a reason to stop me.
All right.
Well,
And the cop says, well, you were speeding.
I will tell you, I will not identify myself to a police officer till he says why.
and I
do you know
agree-
why? Yeah,
and
I
you
hate
know
that
what?
question. Do you know why I stopped you? Quotas.
I will agree with you on that point.
I had
Tell
a
me
story
why.
about that.
Tell me why you're stopping me,
Mm-hmm.
and I will. I give you everything you want. Because there are.
I always answer no because I want him to tell me
There
why
are-
he stopped me.
There are cops out there, and I've been subject to it twice in my life in the last 9-10 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know why I stopped you? I'm like, honestly, no. You were speeding. You were sitting on the side of the road and you were pulled behind me.
Oh yeah, the pacing thing. You talked
Yeah.
about that last week.
Yeah.
I was pacing you. Okay, put that in court.
Pretty much.
Not gonna stand. I'm not gonna hold a fucking ounce of water.
Do
Not.
you remember? I can't remember what it was. It was like maybe 5 years ago. God, it's been so long. That an email got leaked. That the Connecticut State Troopers were being promised pizza for
Oh yeah.
writing X amount of tickets.
Yeah.
And
But
You
there's
covered
no,
it.
That
There's
was-
no
there's
quota.
no quotas.
Yeah.
One of the early fucked ups.
Yeah, and so I was pulled over, and some guy was like,
You went.
some
Pizza
guy
Jones. Here it
some
comes.
guy was like, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" And I said, "I don't know. I saw something in the news about pizzas."
What do you say?
He didn't say a damn thing. He
Mhm.
just looked at me, said, "Slow it down," got in his car and left.
Mhm.
So
Lynch got me. Here we go again.
so
Lynch got me out of a DUI one night,
so
and he doesn't even know it. And I'm going to tell this story
well, I'm gonna tell,
because it comes back to hockey, and I have to because if I don't tell this, I'm going to forget it.
well, I'm gonna tell a really quick story.
All right,
before
hold
you say
on.
that.
Where's my pen? Hockey, DUI, Lynch. Hockey,
I was
DUI.
That's
when
almost
I,
as bad as DUI Jones.
when
no,
I li-
it's hockey, DUI, Lynch.
when I lived
big
in
difference.
Plainfield,
Yes.
I was on my way from my house in Plainfield, where you know
Mm-hmm.
you've been there, you live there for
Yep.
a little bit, basically. And I was on my way up. I don't even know what fucking road it was, but it's the road that connects to 169 from my house, my old house. Take a left at a ball field.
Yep.
I go down 169.
Yes.
I know the road you're talking about. I can't think of it.
From
though.
his house.
There's a ball-
yeah,
there's a-
yeah, yeah. Oh,
there's-
oh, yep.
There's a ball field on your right.
Yes.
The grocery store is in front of you.
Oh, at the four-way at 14.
Yes.
Yep.
The 4-way
Okay.
at 14. You go further forward, you go to Booze Barn.
Yes.
So
Fuck
I'm
the
like,
booze barn.
I'm like this
Fuck the booze barn.
on driving because there's a fucking farm tractor in front of me. I'm like this in my car, in my truck. I had just bought my truck, and I'm like this because I'm doing 50 miles an hour up a fucking hill. I'm literally doing this. Cop pulls me over at the intersection. So in the car, I roll my window down. I said, "Can I help you? You know why I pulled you over?" I'm like, "Honestly, no. You are on your phone." I'm like, no. My phone's in my center console off in the middle of my truck. No, you were on your phone. I saw you on your phone. You had your phone up to your ear. I'm like, I was not. I did this because I'm waiting for the fucking tractor to go straight or left or right at this four-way. Prove it. I said, can I reach in my center console? Am I allowed to do that? Because that's where my insurance is and my reg. I opened the center console, hand him all that shit, my license, pulled my phone out and said, look, my phone is off. I'm going to turn it on. I turned it on. Now this is like 10:15 in the morning. The last text or phone call I had at that time was at like 9:13, 14. It was about an hour previous. So I turn the phone on. I hand it to him. He takes it and goes, "No, you are on your phone." I'm like, "How?" Well, you must have been listening to voicemail or checking
Horse shit, horse shit, and horse shit.
I said my last text is from my fucking wife who's at work down the road in Danielson,
Your voicemail still show up in your
and
phone
my
record.
voicemail
Yeah.
shows up at 9, not even at 8:50 in the morning. 20 minutes previous or half an hour previous to when you pulled me over. How the fuck am I on my phone if it's in my console and it was off and I showed it to you? And he looked me dead in the eye and says, "You fucking fight in court." I said, "You gonna be
Do
there?"
it.
I said, "You gonna be there?"
He's the one that asked you to prove it.
I said, "You gonna be there?" You told me to prove it. You be there, I'll fucking fight it. I'll pull fucking phone records. So he writes me a ticket, hands it to me, and says, "I'll see you in fucking court in a month." I go to court, not there. So
Nope.
what does that say about? Again, I respect law enforcement to the nth degree, but what does that say about certain people within that profession?
Well, they have human failures.
Everybody fails at life. Everybody fails at their career. Why would you fucking pick on somebody because you think they're suspect to something?
That's just ego.
Well, again, this goes back to why I watch these videos of cops with their body cams and their dash cams. They pull a fucking gun and shoot somebody that didn't have a fucking gun on them.
Yeah.
They were pulling out their cell phone. Again, granted, a cop says, "Hey, stop, sit down, get on the ground. Just fucking do it. Go along with it." It doesn't need to end.
I agree. I tell people
It
all the
doesn't need to
time.
end in a situation where you're going to get shot and killed.
Every time this stuff happens, and usually it's because someone's like fighting with the cop or whatever. And I say to people all the time, like, listen, if the cop's wrong, and in the first part of every video, you can see the cop's wrong.
Well, and that's the
Fucking
whole. The
9
whole,
times out of 10, you're right.
the
Survive
whole
the
thing
interaction,
is
and let's
that
get him in court.
the fucking cop's body. Every fucking cop, not every, 99% of the cops in the world now wear body cams
Or the dash cams on.
or the dash cams. It's going to tell the story. It's going to tell a story. So fucking cooperate. If they're wrong, it's
Get
going to
'em
be
in
proven.
court.
You're going to get them in court and you're going to get fucking let go. Just let fucking
Because if
go.
he shoots you, all he has to prove is that he felt he was threatened.
And
There's-
9 times out of 10, with
Yeah.
these situations I've seen from YouTube or whatever source I've seen, the cops are wrong.
Mhm.
Like I watched a video 2 nights ago of a cop. 2 cops had a kid on the ground who had his hands behind his back, and it was black on black. Big fucking Jack Black dude, cop, punched the kid in the head several times.
Mhm.
Several times over the course of like 3 or 4 minutes, but to submit, you're resisting, and the kid's screaming, "My hands are behind my back! My hands are behind my back!" And the other cop, who was a female, had his right hand, and the other cop had his left hand in their hands. They had one cufflink of the handcuffs on his hand,
Mhm.
and they're trying to get his hands around. The kid was big. Everybody's big. I get it. There's certain situations where you're like, "Oh fuck, dude, big kid. Maybe we need two sets of cuffs." But the kid submitted, and the big black cop just kept fucking punching him in the side of the head here.
Yeah.
For
That's what
no fucking reason. What?
That's what they do.
Why? Why?
Because
And this is
the kid-
why
because a kid disrespected him.
it doesn't matter. But the whole fucking
I
point.
know it doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, this is why the fucking kids don't
There have been
respect the cops.
There's been Supreme Court cases where they said cops don't have a right to respect. Like there have been Supreme Court cases about it. You're allowed to tell a cop to go fuck himself.
You are. Absolutely, you are.
know?
If a cop stops you for no fucking apparent reason, and you say, "I don't want to give you my ID," I don't have to give you my ID. If there's no reason for you, if I have not committed a crime, motor vehicle or civil or criminal,
The thing-
otherwise,
The thing that gets me is when it's like
I don't
can
have to tell you who I am.
Yeah, when they're like, can I ask why you're stopping me? And they say something like, I don't know yet. I need your ID. And I'm like, well,
Well,
Yeah,
no.
I kinda
Well,
am.
no. You do need.
that's where we have a problem.
And that my point back to the whole what do you call it, the sovereign citizen point. If you stop me, you have a inkling in your head why you stopped me.
Yep.
There's a reason why you stopped me.
Yeah.
So tell me that. Educate me. Tell me why you stopped me, and I will give you anything you want. Give me an ID, a fucking fingerprint, a fucking hand job on the side of the road. I don't give a fuck. No, I'm just saying. In certain circumstances. But just tell me, why are you stopping me? Give me the respect that you expect from me as a citizen, and to me as you as a cop.
Yeah.
I think it's a give and take
like
relationship.
I said, I have refused to show my ID to a cop before because he just wouldn't tell me why he stopped me, and I have said, well, I actually don't feel comfortable answering your questions because they can be used against me in court. I've said that.
Well, and that's the whole thing.
know.
And they're doing this before they read your rights.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they don't have to read your rights.
Only unless you're suspected of a crime, or you actually admit or have been
Well,
proven to commit a crime.
Here's the thing: the Miranda. There's a lot of myths about the Miranda. So if you're a suspect in the murder and they just tackle you, cuff you, and throw you in jail, the whole case is not going to get thrown out because they didn't read you your Miranda.
No,
But
there's other circumstances behind that whole case that
They
will
only-
be brought to light during trial.
yeah, they only have to do it if they're officially questioning you.
Right. So, and the whole part I have with when cops stop you for anything, DUI, fucking hit and run, whatever. All right. What do you suspect me of being committed,
Mhm.
of doing? After that, I will answer any fucking question you want.
I've actually had a police officer stop me because I was following the law. It's like you were following the law, you were following the speed limit, and that seems suspicious. And I'm like,
So I
I'll
was
be
doing.
am I being? That's when I'll get a little snippy and I'll be like, well, am I being detained or am I free to go?
If you're asking me if I was following the law, I'm gonna fucking leave.
Yeah, it's like, am I being detained or
I'm gonna roll
am I
up the
free to go?
window and go bye.
See, the thing that bothers me, and now they have these little scanners on their car. I think it should be illegal for them to run your plate unless they see you breaking the law. But
So 50,
Because-
I'm 50-50 with that.
the,
So there's other things beyond whether you're breaking the law.
Mhm.
If you're driving speed limit, not breaking any motor vehicle violations, but if you owe taxes, if you owe parking tickets, if you owe whatever that are civil
Mhm.
matters, I'm okay with that. If I'm in New Haven and my car is parked on the side of the road and they drive by and they see the license plate recognition system and they scan my tag and say, "Oh, fucking Lynch owes $300 in vehicle tax and his emissions and registrations past due,"
but I didn't consent to that part of the road as being no parking.
doesn't matter. I'm parked in a.
I'm paid for
I'm
it.
parked in a legal parking spot, and they just happen to drive by, and my truck pops up saying, Lynch should not be driving because he didn't pay his taxes and he didn't pay his parking ticket or whatever the fuck it is. I understand. It's all part of the business of staying in business as a state, as a town, as a government, whatever.
You need to get one of those sovereign guys as a host. This one's not working.
I would no, I
This one's broken.
no, I would love that because I'm not opposed to the whole sovereign citizen standpoint. I'm 50-50. I agree with what you said. If you can't tell me why you're stopping me and why you're doing what you're doing as a police officer,
You shouldn't be doing it.
you shouldn't be doing it. Because to me, that makes me feel like you're trying to fit a quota.
Well, one of the big
But if you can tell me if you pull me over and say, "Can I see your license registration?" because you were doing the speed limit here is 65, you're doing 78 miles an hour. I clocked you. I have it on record. I can show you the printout.
one of the best arguments sovereign citizens have, though, and there's I've seen a video where the police officer was just so choked up he didn't know how to respond to it, where a sovereign system said to him, "Can you produce certificate of ownership of this road?" And the cop's like, "What? It's in my town. Can you produce a deed or a certificate of ownership of this road. Towns don't have that. States don't have that.
Nobody does.
The-
But
the property is assumed to be public.
and which is why I fall on the side of I agree. The 50% of me agrees with what they say is that I'm traveling, but the cop is sworn to follow the whatever mandates they're following.
The gimmick, Jones. Say it.
No, they're sworn to follow the mandates of what town, county, state, whatever. They're sworn to follow those.
Mhm.
Yeah, sounds like the Third Reich to me.
Well,
Close.
I'm just doing my job.
They
Well,
took
but-
my
but-
job.
but you can say that about anything. You
Yeah.
can say it about retail. You can say that in a job you have. You can say that about the job he has. I'm only doing what I'm told to do, and at a certain point, you have to.
Actually, my response is I can't do that. It's not my money to give.
Well,
I'm not paid.
as long
enough.
as you have an out,
I
I'm
have
fucking fine with that.
I
As
have
long
a
as you-
sovereign citizen argument to customers.
As long as you have a fucking out, you're good. But when you have that, when there's that like 50-50 buffer in the air, like it's like Jerry Seinfeld about taking reservations. You can take them all day long.
I think you should read a book by Murray Rothbard.
It's whether you
You're-
put them down on
You're
paper.
lost. You're lost. You need to be saved.
Oh, good
yeah.
God.
Oh God. But no, it's like Jerry Seinfeld said about taking reservations. One of his best episodes of that show ever. You can take reservations all day long out of the air. It's whether you write them down and fucking commit to them and stand behind your word that matters.
Mhm.
And it doesn't matter. You stand behind you as a citizen to follow the rules, and the cop to stand behind his decision, become an enforcer of said rules. That matters.
But the application that is not even. So a police hear me out.
And that's the big that
And
I
there was a
I know exactly
There's
where
a
you're going.
bad Supreme Court case about this where you can't be ignorant of the law.
Nobody can.
No, police officers are. And it was a Supreme Court state where they said you cannot expect a police officer to know every law. There's no expectation of it.
Which I will
Which-
say is bullshit
It is total
because
bullshit.
it is total bullshit. Now I understand exactly where you're going with this.
Yeah.
And I will say that I can challenge any cop that I know, and I know a lot. That I worked at Mohegan Sun for 22 fucking years, and I will challenge any one of the people that were investigators or cops or whatever. And I am a certain statute, I could tell you,
They'll rattle them off.
no
The statute of limitations.
statutes, the law.
Well, no, Jerry, it's statute.
Okay.
The statue.
But if
of
I ask
limitations.
Well,
them-
I really think you're wrong.
If I ask you what X means, they couldn't tell me to the verbatim, to the T, exactly what
No,
the law is.
because if they did, they'd be practicing law, and you need to go to college for that.
And the problem being is that if they can recite that verbatim, there's culpability to them and responsibility to them.
Because like just bring up the Supreme Court case I'm talking about is involving someone was pulled over for something that turned out to not be illegal, and they found other things, and their entire defense case hinged on that. It went all the way to the Supreme Court, and so because the Supreme Court is a bunch of statist bootlickers, they passed a decision saying, well, you can't expect a cop to know all the laws, but
But I'm gonna put 'em in a-
can't say I can't say to a judge, well, I didn't even know that was illegal.
But I'm going to put this cop in a car and hold them accountable to pull you over or question you or whatever.
Even that, it's not an equal standard. So like if I accidentally, I didn't know I couldn't pick daffodils out of the park. I didn't know that was illegal. Well, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Here's your $600 fine.
Well, you can claim ignorance on any fucking traffic law or any law, period.
But what I'm saying is they pushed this guy's case forward based on excusing a cop's ignorance of the law. So the guy should never have been pulled over. According to the law, should never have been
I don't disagree with that.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I am like half of the masthead on this show. Do I get to speak ever?
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I'm
We're
sorry.
waiting for-
I'm sorry, Jaberni. Would you like a hug?
No.
I'm waiting for you to chime in.
I got my gimmick. I'm listening to you guys. You guys are making a lot of great points. I'm just wondering, when's it gonna be my turn?
You can have.
Is it-
You have the floor,
Okay.
my friend.
Hockey, DUI, lynch. Here comes your story, and
All
then I
right,
got
here
a
we
quick
go.
hit. You know what's fucked up to close it out? Because if I get any more text about this during this broadcast, I want to punch everybody not named Chris or Eddie or Angela because I'm gonna put her out of it. She didn't text me. So if your name's not Chris, Eddie, or Angela, get ready to have your fucking teeth knocked. And then I turn to the left and I'm home.
Yep.
But in that, I must have, I don't know if I was speeding. I don't know if I was swerving. I don't know about anything because, first of all, the Bruins won. And second of all,
They
Lynch
did.
and I, his wife made a fantastic dinner. We watched the hockey game. It was great. The Bruins won. Fuck Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs, not Maple Leafs,
Maple
like I
Leafs.
just said. Yeah, I'm pulling a Lynch here. Fuck Toronto Maple Leafs. And I'm driving home, and just before I get to, I think that road was that 169 that ran by your house?
Yes.
So I'm going 169 to 6. I lived right off of Route 6 here in Connecticut. And just before the interchange, I was right by the post office in Brooklyn.
Yep.